everyone, it's time for a new video about my robot. If any of you saw the first video, where I fought in a tournament at Bingeman's from Bot Brawl, you would remember this that's now stuck in my headphone cable. So, after that, it had some issues, obviously, if you saw it. So I began reworking it, upgrading it, and redesigning it. Ended up here. So if you guys want a full breakdown on all the upgrades and changes I made between V1 and V2, let me know, because I just tried to record them all and my microphone didn't work and I don't feel like doing it again. So the Bot Brawl community, which hosted the last tournament I attended, decided to host weekly league nights called Bot Brawl Robot League. And you would go in on your weeks that you were designated, have your fight. There would be a ranking system with ELO, and then the top whatever bots would get into a final bracket. I will spoil, I did manage to get into that final bracket. These are my fights from the weeks, and I will do another video covering the fights from the actual tournament shortly after, because it would be quite a bit of content all at once. Quite a long video. Going into week 1, this is what my chassis looked like. No side flaps or nothing. The motors were screwed directly into the chassis for the wheels. Nothing that special. You'll see how the screws bit me later, but we'll just jump into it, and I hope you enjoy. So fight 1 is against a vertical spinner named Glup. It is very wide and it's pretty goofy. The first gears that I'm using here are custom designed and printed out of TPU, and it works initially. I win the first trade, and then I can't really control my bot well, it's very twitchy. My wheel hubs are plastic, so he hits it and blows my wheel off, and he also manages to destroy my gearbox there. And I taste ceiling, and I tap out because I can't fight at that point, and I don't really have many spare components left. Fight 2, I'm against a robot named Max MOI. It's a brush bot, I believe, so it moves using the vibration of its weapon rather than wheels. My destroyed gearbox, I can only move with one wheel. He gets one big shot on my titanium, but it's pretty hard to do meaningful damage to me on the front as a horizontal. So he starts overheating, which is really unfortunate. This match was a mess and not a good showing for either of us. And you can see here that once I finally do reach him and manage to hit him, my gears are actually shredded. And there's like no power behind it at all. So I technically get the win, but not a great win. So week 2, fight 3 versus a beater named Black Widow. I have my new nylon gears, which do not shred apart. He manages to get the first hit on me and pop me up a bit, and then I get the better of a weapon trade, completely disabling his weapon. I slice one of his forks off, and I'm basically free to just keep hitting him until I either destroy myself or my battery runs out. I send foam everywhere. I also tend to transfer more energy to the wall than I do to my opponents. The low set of my blade means I mainly sink into the softer bits of my opponents, being their wheels or their TPU armor. I am very confident in my weapon that it should not be able to destroy itself. The only way my weapon should go down is if my motor is destroyed, or if my gears are destroyed. or if the mount's destroyed. I don't think there would ever be a case where I destroy myself. I get stuck in the floor here. I don't have a button underneath my spinner. It's just riding on the bolt head. And I spin out there for some reason. The tape that was covering my wires, I'm pretty sure came loose and they touched each other for a bit, so it was shorting. Which was not very good. I'm glad it only lasted a few seconds. Both of his forks are gone now. His bot can't drive smoothly at all. You can see every time I land a decent hit, my robot actually pulls to the right because of the torque from my weapon is so powerful. Here I start running out of battery, so I decide to save it and just try to push him around. I've already got all the points in my favor for the judge decision, as far as I think. And I get stuck in the floor again in the last 10 seconds. I got enough battery to spin up one more time, make sure the judges know it still works, and that's it. I pulled the judge decision. Fight 4 on week 2, I'm against Mini Vortex, which is actually a rematch from the Bingeman's tournament that I fought in August. But this time I have a much sturdier, much more powerful robot. He enters the arena again with that stinky drive issue he had before. I did tune my, ooh, big shot, forgot about that one. I did tune my transmitter so that the steering is much less sensitive, so I can control it better, but at this point I'm still learning the stick as well. You can see his right wedge is in pretty rough condition already. Also, his weapon went down from that big impact earlier. I forgot about that. If you can see, there is also a wire sticking out the front left of my robot from that big impact. I believe that is a power cable for my weapon ESC. That is the speed controller for my weapon motor. And I get really stuck in the floor here. So I'm going to take a moment and just skip past this. So he grabs the tool, drags me out of the hole slightly, close the gate, and the fight's back on. I immediately drive myself away from the hole before I even spin up. And his weapon starts working again, which was quite terrifying for me considering I had the wire hanging out. His weapon is at the perfect height to snipe that wire, so I was trying my best to aim the right side of my robot at him, at his weapon, whenever I did. His bottom plate is quite warped, if you caught a glimpse of that. There, you can see it's quite frayed at the front right, so it's dragging on the ground and he can barely drive now. I figure he can't move here, so I spin down, see if he'll get counted out, but he's got enough wheel on the ground to gyro himself over. And I take his wheel off, and then I get stuck in the floor again. We wiggle into each other, and I'm free. Another big shot right towards the end of the match. and a much better showing than Benjamin's. I did not disconnect my own power that time. Fight 5, Week 2, is I'm against a horizontal named Royal Reaper. I go with my longer weapon because I outrange him, so I just aim to try to hit his support underneath. Run away because I don't need my wheels getting shot, but he slides up my wedge and hooks it from the inside anyway, before coming in and sniping the last wheel. And that's how I finished off Week 2. Fight 6, Week 3, I'm against Tamarack, which is also a rematch from the last tournament, and I immediately lose control and lose my wheels, so very much like our last fight. I need those aluminum wheel hubs to stop using plastic. So Fight 7, Week 3, I'm against my final weekly opponent named Double Time. He has performed very well in major tournaments. I get a catch on the side of his wedge right away. I must have pinched something in his wheel at the same time, but I'm not sure what. But immediately his wedge is dangling and he's smacking it, and then I disconnect it completely. That felt lucky to me, but we take it. Whatever I pinched on his wheel is still damaged, so against Tamarack in the last fight, he had actually blown the back cover off of my right motor. So it's the cover that holds the brushes in the motor. And the motor was not performing quite as strong as a result, and you'll see it actually completely disconnects later, finally. You can see I can still turn right, the right wheel still turns, but it's not as strong as the left. I'm beginning to tear up the TPU on the front of his bot and the side guards. Because neither of us can get much speed anymore, it's very difficult to get any large bites. And I pop off his side guard. Something I didn't anticipate, I made the front of my robot a wedge to give it a little more defense against other horizontals, because I figured that would be its weakness, but it has another upside of vertical spinners can't bite into it. They kind of just scratch it. I think at this point my right wheel has completely died. But I managed to start peeling up his bottom plate like I did to Mini Vortex in an earlier week. His weapon's disabled and his weapon is actually broken. And I score the knockout. That's how I finish off. So after all of that, my boy managed to squeeze in at number 8, and he got into the main tournament. So if he would have been any lower, he would have had to do one more week for the last chance qualifier, but he just made it. So if you want to see how he performed at the tournament, keep an eye out for my next video, which shouldn't be too long. I will have it made shortly after this one. Hope you enjoyed.